sure most of you out there by now have seen the Godzilla vs. Kong movie. It was a great movie where we finally got to see the battle between Godzilla vs. Kong, but today, we are going to be diving into the analytics and seeing if Godzilla should have won, or if Kong should have won. The video I'm talking about is by Goji Center. I'll throw him up on the screen right now so you can see him. And it is the in-depth analysis of this battle, guys. This was before the battle, by the way.
And Kong go head-to-head.
See, he said what would happen.
In this video, we will go down to the hard stats and compare these two monsters to have a better idea of who has a higher chance of being the ultimate winner.
So we know who won, right?
Intelligence,
we know Godzilla
agility,
won.
Psychology, and much more that could determine the outcome of this epic battle.
But everything
so
you just named,
make sure to stick with us to the very end
sense that
as we put Godzilla and Kong to the test to determine who could be the next king of the monsters.
Let's see, who should have really won? Let's do an analysis here. Intelligence.
This
They're both
is a
pretty
sensitive
smart.
topic.
Both of them are pretty smart.
Godzilla and Kong have both given us evidence of higher than normal levels of intelligence.
Very true.
At least when compared to other extant creatures. There are some clues that we can gather to determine who has the edge when it comes to battle intelligence.
I mean,
Over
Kong
the course
can do
of many
hand,
years,
the hand
Godzilla has
signs and
acquired
stuff.
enough battle experience to effectively counter any incoming attack with its well-defined arsenal of weapons.
He does have some nice defense.
This is thanks to Godzilla's advanced capability of picking up on enemy attack patterns. In 2014, we see that after being flanked many times by the male Muto,
he still takes him
Godzilla
out.
uses a tail swipe maneuver against it, sending him crashing into a building.
My boy's smart with it.
In 2019, we see that Godzilla figured out how to more effectively fight Ghidorah and determine the appropriate time and place to attack. While not having exactly as much experience as Godzilla, Kong displays a different type of intelligence. In the natural world, we see that animals that make the use of tools are normally creatures with higher brain-to-body ratios.
He can use
Similarly,
tools.
Kong uses both terrain and tools to accomplish complex tasks.
My boy's nice with it.
While you could argue that Godzilla doesn't necessarily need to use tools, it does take some amount of intelligence to learn to effectively use handheld weaponry.
Godzilla has never needed to use one.
If we place both Godzilla's and Kong's skulls side by side, we could probably get a better idea of their levels of intelligence.
I think Kong has a bigger brain.
According to how their skulls are shaped, the brain-to-body size ratio seems to significantly favor Kong. And since brain-to-body ratio is a relatively fair indicator of intelligence, it's safe to say that Kong has a slight advantage over Godzilla, at least in overall intelligence.
Okay.
But in the battlefield,
Godzilla
has an advantage over Kong in combat tactics.
Especially the atomic breath. He can hit him from distance.
Both Godzilla and Kong come equal in battlefield critical thinking and intelligence.
I don't mind that. They're equal on the intelligence field. What about the next one?
Intimidation.
Intimidation, I mean, they're both very intimidating. I don't know. What do you all think? Who's the more intimidating? Intimidation display. That's very intimidating.
This scene gives us a better idea of how Godzilla uses its dorsal plates to act as an intimidation display to other titans.
100%.
This display is usually followed by an extremely loud roar that could shatter smaller creatures.
Kong does the same thing, though, without the dorsal plates, obviously.
We will also take into account the fact that Godzilla has never taken a step backward when faced with an opponent.
He hasn't. He goes straight forward.
Even after losing a fight, Godzilla will always fall back to battle position.
100%.
A creature acting like this will inflict morale shocks to even the strongest of titans. In the real world, gorillas use chest pounding as an act of intimidation towards other hostile creatures.
Just like Kong.
Similarly, Kong would use this same method to try to intimidate any other titans, including Godzilla.
That roar, though.
But taking into account that Godzilla has faced more intimidating displays in the past,
Ghidorah is very
likely
intimidating.
That some mere chest pounding won't make Godzilla think twice before attacking.
That wing spread, man,
Even
he's
though
ginormous.
Both titans are intimidating, Godzilla takes the edge for being less likely to be fearful of the opponent while displaying slightly more intimidating behavior himself.
I mean, yeah, I would say so. That's not bad. He can take the intimidation.
Aggressiveness.
Aggressiveness.
By looking at the footage of how Godzilla kills
right?
its opponents, it's evident that Godzilla was hardwired to display raw brutality.
Maybe not
these
the kiss of death,
execution-style finishers could imply that Godzilla used these deceased titans as an example to other titans who dared challenge his status as king.
He is more brutal, isn't he?
Godzilla's style of combat is to inflict, but also be able to soak in tremendous amounts of damage.
What about when
this
Kong
style
ripped
of fighting
apart
can be compared
the
to
skull
a
crawler?
berserker, an ancient and extremely violent warrior class known for inflicting huge morale shocks to opposing troops while being able to withstand tons of damage himself.
It makes sense.
While Godzilla's combat style is synonymous with brute force, Kong seems to take a more strategic approach to combat. When seeing how Kong took on Romerick in 1973, we can conclude that Kong fights with more finesse, unlike Godzilla, who would grab and break the closest body part to him.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Aggressiveness is also a psychological factor that would
so
impact
aggressiveness,
morale.
I'd give it to
and
Godzilla.
Given that Kong does not fight with the aggressive approach as his opponent, Godzilla takes
Kong
the
fights
edge on
smarter.
aggressiveness in this round. A more controlled approach to combat, however, might give Kong the edge in another category.
That's true. Strategic fights, maybe.
Bite effectiveness.
Bite effectiveness.
No
That's gotta be
anatomy
Godzilla.
is complete without a menacing jaw full of teeth.
Maybe,
In
right?
this case, however, we are determining who has the most effective bite against the opposing Titan.
I mean, Kong's
Bite
got a
force
nice
is
bite, too.
typically influenced by the geometry of the skull and size of the jaw closing muscles.
Oh, see, I didn't know all that.
By taking a look at the relative size and skull geometry, it is likely that the
Godzilla.
muscular and square shape of Godzilla's skull could inflict a stronger bite than Kong's.
Yep.
But Kong's bite force should not be underestimated.
Oh, yeah, it's
Gorillas
still
have one
mighty
of the
strong.
strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom, with some specimens capable of reaching 1,300 pounds per square inch.
1,300
Just because
pounds?
one Titan has the stronger bite does not mean that it's the most effective.
Oh, that's a
Kong has
fact.
canine teeth that appear to be much longer than any of Godzilla's teeth.
Yeah, those things are
This
ginormous.
means that even if Kong has a slightly weaker bite, its force will be concentrated in the smaller surface area at the tip of his sharp canines,
So
which
Kong
makes
gets
him more
the edge a
likely
little
to be
bit,
able
right?
to pierce an opponent's hide with ease. Although Godzilla has a stronger bite, Kong levels the stats with more bite pressure coming from his canines. Therefore, for this round, both Godzilla and Kong stand equal in bite effectiveness.
Give Kong a round, man. Just give
Arm
Kong
strength.
one.
Both
Arm
Godzilla
strength.
and Kong have
That's
different
for
fighting
Kong.
styles, which are aided
100%.
by different parts of their corporal build.
Godzilla's
The
little
use
arms,
of
no
forearms
shot.
can vary between the Titans. Godzilla's arms are used to block, parry, and even hold an opponent in place while he uses its strong jaws as a main weapon.
That's true, but
These
Kong be
arms were
tossing
even
people.
used to stop a 141,000-ton Titan dead on its tracks. Although small in comparison to its body, these arms are by no means useless.
That's true.
Kong, on the other hand,
But
uses
Kong-
them as its main weapon of choice.
Exactly.
As discussed earlier, Kong fights with more finesse than its opponent.
Let's go.
Similar to a wrestler, Kong uses his arms to hold back an oncoming attacker
Kong
and for
the
destructive
wrestler.
punches. In the real world, gorillas are pound for pound the fourth strongest animal in the world.
That man broke the
capable of
glass.
carrying up to 10 times their
I'd
own
be getting
body
up out of
weight.
there.
This is due to the massive amounts of muscle concentrations in the upper torso and arms. Knowing this, it's likely that Kong could be able to lift Godzilla while being only a fraction of his
Didn't he
opponent's
lift him in the
weight.
movie?
So who has the strongest arm strength?
It's definitely
If we
Kong.
compare both arms side to side, we see that Kong's arms are significantly larger than
Yeah,
Godzilla's.
arms are massive.
And by applying our recently acquired knowledge about gorillas, Kong takes the edge when it comes to superior arm strength in this battle.
All right, so Kong finally got him a
Battle
victory in one of them.
dexterity. We are now about to
Battle
discuss one of the
dexterity?
most underestimated attributes that you can have in battle.
I don't even know what it is.
This attribute is dexterity. Before we begin this section, take a moment to appreciate that you, a human being, are the only specimen on Earth that can effectively throw something, aim, and hit the target.
That's true.
Maybe.
Well, what about the
Godzilla,
orangutans? They
although
do.
we have seen
they
that
be
he does
fishing
use
like
his
that.
hands for combat,
So that's
he
not
does
true.
not necessarily use them to throw things. Apart from understanding how to use local objects as weapons, Kong seems to be able to wield objects with outstanding precision. No other Titan in the Monsterverse has been
Oh,
seen
he's a savage.
spearing a moving target with a palm tree or using a propeller as a ball and chain.
Yeah, now they don't
This
be doing
is
it with
without
like
mentioning
palm
the fact
trees,
that Kong
but
can even craft his own weapons.
I'm pretty sure
It's
chimps
imperative
use
to note that
stuff
these
like that
are
to
supposed
fish.
to be exclusively human abilities, but for some unknown reason can be found within the Kong species.
he was
In
beating
the
down
coming
that
battle,
skullcrawler.
Kong holds the edge for battle dexterity, an ability that is hard to master, even for most humans.
He's got 2 victories. Let's go.
Leg strength. We are
Leg
now moving
strength.
down to the source of stability.
I'd say
By looking
Godzilla.
closely
I'd
at
say
images of
Godzilla.
Godzilla, we see that his legs are built to withstand an enormous amount of weight. In the graphic novel Godzilla Aftershock, we see that Godzilla was able to carry Titanus Jinshinmushi on his back.
And that's
a
heavy.
Titan that weighed 50% more than Godzilla.
50%
Apart
more.
from being able to carry thousands of additional tons in weight, these legs can inflict lethal amounts of pressure on a victim.
Yeah, they can.
If Kong finds himself unlucky enough to be under Godzilla's foot,
They can just
will
break
most
him.
likely suffer the same fate as Titanus Jinshinmushi and Ghidorah, who were both literally stomped by Godzilla. Kong, on the other hand, might not have had the same damaging power as Godzilla, but his legs could still carry almost the same weight.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to jump, you know what I'm saying? He'd be jumping.
Most likely be capable of carrying Godzilla, thanks to its impressive muscular build. In conclusion, although
it's
both
Godzilla,
these
man.
titans
It's
can
Godzilla.
carry massive amounts of weight, Godzilla
look at that
uses
leg
them
size.
as a weapon and lethal finisher to kill off titans, giving him the edge on leg strength. Agility.
Agility, that's going to go to Kong.
That's going to go to Kong. Agile combatants against any opponent.
No, that's got to be Kong.
Godzilla's massive size allows him to charge at an opposing titan with tremendous amounts of force.
Yep, he can charge.
This amount of impact force, however, comes
but he's
at
not
a price.
jumping off of walls and
titan
stuff.
Such as Godzilla relies on a massive tail
look at him. He's
to
on
act
top of
as
a building.
counterweight when changing directions. If an opponent changes lanes on Godzilla's line of attack, Godzilla would most likely struggle to change direction quickly.
Yep, that's a big boy, though.
Because Kong is most likely lighter than Godzilla, he does not require a tail to aid in change of direction. Unlike his opponent, he is capable of leaping on or from high places, bringing a new axis to the battlefield.
He's agile with it.
This will serve to Kong's advantage when facing Godzilla's most lethal weapon. In this round, the edge goes to Kong for being built to be more agile than his bulky
tied up right now,
Godzilla.
guys.
But
we know who wins the fight,
faster?
but, you know, this is cool to see.
Speed. The film
Speed?
Godzilla, King of the Monsters provides us with a perfect shot of Godzilla's top speed on land. By analyzing this footage, we see that Godzilla can run to speeds of up to 350 miles per hour.
Okay,
How
I
does
didn't
this
know all
compare
that.
to Kong?
I feel like Kong wins that, though. Kong is
significantly
fast.
more agile than Godzilla on land because of its presumed lower weight. Given that this creature has a more human-like build, we can assume that it's possible that Kong might reach higher running speeds than Godzilla, at
100%.
least on land. But let's not forget that Godzilla can also swim.
That's true.
The fact that Godzilla can move faster than Kong on water evens out Godzilla's slight disadvantage on land.
Yeah, so it's a tie for
making this another draw in battle attributes.
Okay.
The next question to come to mind,
They match
however,
up in a lot of
is
stuff.
could terrain work in favor of any of these titans?
Definitely. We saw that battle in the water and on
Terrain
land.
Compatibility.
Godzilla kind of won them both, but it was a good fight.
Godzilla vs. Kong
It was a good
film,
fight.
We will see these titans battle in many different types of terrain. So far, it has been confirmed that Kong is acquainted with two totally different biomes, Skull Island and the Hollow Earth.
Yep, that's
Skull
true.
Island is full of
got the
rocky
axe.
structures and mountains that are just as tall as modern buildings. So it is possible that these natural structures could benefit him when facing Godzilla in an urban location.
I mean, it did a little bit when he got the axe,
Godzilla,
but
on the other hand,
Godzilla
has
just
fought
dominated,
other
man.
titans in all types of settings,
It was a
such
good battle.
as glaciers,
Like I said.
cityscapes, and even oceans. And by knowing its superior fighting capability undersea, it is likely that Godzilla will exploit this watery arena and use it against Kong.
He almost drowned him if it weren't for those bombs.
Because he has experience fighting in more diverse settings, including under the ocean, Godzilla takes the edge when it comes to terrain compatibility.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We are now
100%.
getting to the interesting part.
The interesting part. Is this the last one?
Special
we got two
abilities.
More. Special abilities goes to Godzilla.
A special ability can be defined as a biological attribute or
I mean,
weapon
he's got
that
the
gives a titan
atomic
a
breath.
significant edge over an opponent. Which titan has the most widely known special ability?
Godzilla.
That's right, Godzilla. His
Atomic
breath is a radioactive mixture of explosive superheated death, which he uses to knock back other titans while inflicting serious damage. Apart from his atomic breath, Godzilla also possesses a last resort ability known as a nuclear pulse. In the 2019 film, we see that Godzilla reached its thermonuclear state thanks to Mothra's sacrifice.
That's dangerous,
but the pulse itself was not totally dependent on Mothra. How? If we look back at Godzilla Aftershock, we see that Godzilla used this same ability on Muto Prime with devastating effects. That is, with much less damage than it did in 2019.
I didn't know he could use it with his normal state.
In this situation is find a place to hide. Edge, Godzilla.
Definitely Godzilla on that edge.
No kaiju fight analysis can be completed without an X factor. Godzilla has shown time and time again that his species can prevail even in the face of adversity.
Yeah. This was a good analysis video, though.
Hardwired to kill Godzilla's species.
It was pretty accurate.
Is enough to state that Godzilla is a battle-hardened creature.
Because, like I said, this was before
who
the movie.
has not shown fear against any titan. For Godzilla, it has always been about fight or die.
True that. True that.
While growing to adulthood, Kong managed to survive in close proximity to hyper-aggressive creatures that wiped out his own kind. It is possible that at times Kong would have acknowledged when the odds were not in his favor and
just walked
retreat
away
to fight another day. For Kong, it has always been about survival.
Fight to survive. Yep, that
It
gives
is time to
Godzilla the
reveal
edge,
which
man.
of these two titans is more likely to win based on hard stats.
It's Godzilla.
Kong wins the edge on arm strength, dexterity, and agility.
So he got 3 of them.
Godzilla takes the edge on
But Godzilla-
intimidation, aggressiveness, leg strength, terrain compatibility, and special biological
He got
power-ups.
5 of them.
Both of these titans, however, are neck and neck when it comes to intelligence, fight effectiveness, and overall speed.
Which
By
makes it a
compiling
good fight,
all of our
but
results, we
the
see that
champion
Godzilla has a higher chance of defeating Kong
is
in a
Godzilla.
1-versus-1 battle.
And that's the end of this video. Like I said, though, we've seen the movie. It was a great battle. But that was also a great analysis. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for watching with me. I love ya. Goodbye.